This podcast is brought to you by www.maximusmark.com. Hi folks, it's Maximus Mark, and welcome to the show that punches you in the face with information, but in a good way. It's Maximus Mark Radio, and today's guest was the very first person in Australia to franchise personal training studios. In fact, he built a chain of 21 personal training studios in 3 different states. He is the founder of New Level Personal Training and partner in a new website called PT Business Systems, which you can check out by going to ptbusinesssystems.com. He is a life strategist and entrepreneur coach for serious people. He has been self-employed for 17 years, and you can check him out at www.travbell.com. My guest today is none other than Travis Bell. So let's start with the most obvious. Can you tell me about your very first business and how you got started?
Well, Mark, I got started. It seems like a long time ago now. I went to uni at Victoria University over in good old Footscray. Did a Bachelor of Applied Science in Phys Ed, and in my third year uni, I started working at a Footscray swim centre, and started working as a as a gym instructor. This is before there was really an industry of personal trainers. Started working as a gym instructor, and then I had there was a guy in the gym doing a little bit of one-on-one personal training, and I basically copied him, and I was cleared it with centre management, and got paid $25 an hour. A little bit different these days,
yeah.
And I had to give $5 to the centre management every time I did a personal training session. So that was in 1995 or something like that.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of, from there, that was, I guess, your first business. When did you move to your first location?
Well, from there, so it's not hard to build a personal training business, I reckon. It's you just got to look after people. I mean, you know that. And they refer everyone. You know, my first client, Heather, her name was, she referred everyone in the English-speaking language and then some to the business. And got very busy very quick, to the point where I was running around Melbourne, had a deal with 4 gyms around Melbourne where I could literally rock in, member or non-member, pay $5 and I could train them, some group, some one-on-one. And my record was, and was using the parks, and then my record was 63 one-hour mobile sessions in a week.
Wow.
And then I thought, going to burn out here. So I got my self-centred, got a 400 square metre studio over in Richmond. I think it was more than that, actually. And that was our first studio.
And
over in Richmond there.
Do you still have that studio today?
No, we moved that one. I sold that business, and it was moved around the corner.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember, because I for the listeners who don't know the background, Trav actually taught me at the AIF, and I remember you telling this story about how you had to borrow some money from your dad. Was it?
Yeah. Well, it was only, I think it was 10 grand at the time, because when I moved into the studio, and like a lot of people who go into doing their own personal training studio, mate, I was a great personal trainer and really ordinary business person. And I found out very quickly that I didn't do my maths right, and didn't do cash flow. Signed up to a lease I had no idea about. Signed up to unsecured finance on gym equipment that broke down. It was a 3-year payoff period. Broke down within about a year. And paying trainers too much, trying to be a good bloke, and we were doing corporate health. We were doing a whole heap of different things and spreading ourselves really thin. But then, the money ran out, and had to unfortunately go and do that. But that was the heartfelt kind of line in the sand for me at that point in time, where I had to go and get help, business help.
Yeah. So what would be for you the biggest business lesson that you've ever learnt?
God, really do your maths right. Really do cash flows. that would be number one. Number two, don't make decisions based on ego.
Right.
Do it based on what works financially.
Right.
And I'd still slip up today, but I think it's to lessening degrees, and really doing everything by the book as well. One guy I've been helping out recently is not an unfamiliar story. No taxes are paid. There's a lot of cash. You go to the bank. Yeah, I earn all this money, and they say, yeah, where is it? Oh, well, I get it in cash. Right. Have you paid tax on it? No. Well, we're not giving you money for a house.
Yeah, that's the way it works, basically.
Might ring true for a few people.
Yeah, got to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
How is the personal training business different from other businesses, in your opinion?
I think it's a great business because I wouldn't have been doing it for this long if I didn't think it was a great business. I think the end product, and this is why I got into it in the first place, I think the end product of what we provide as personal trainers is one of the best services or products in the world, because I believe everyone needs it. A lot of people can't do it by themselves. They try, they go up and down, but I think people are living in more of an outsourced society these days, where they get their lawns mowed by someone else, they get their dog washed by someone else, they get their health and fitness. They get health and fitness, and that's where we come in. It's such a positive type of business as well. Financially, it's good because we get all of our money up front or on direct debit, so we're not really chasing debtors as such. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have to buy stock. We don't have to buy stock like the winter range and say a retail outlet, then open the doors to maybe an expensive shop front and hope the hell it sells before we have to buy the summer stock. So there's no big inventory kind of thing going on. So I think it's a great business model.
Yeah, and in growing the business, I guess, because you've obviously had a lot of experience growing the business with your franchises, New Level Personal Training, what would be the biggest challenge around that?
Around growing a business or
around growing a personal training business?
The biggest challenge, I think, is the systemisation. It's the systemisation of everything and creating systems and sticking to those systems. And can I say this is trying to quell the entrepreneur within, is sticking to one thing and doing it really well, rather than going to the next bright, shiny thing, right. Which is even harder with the internet. And I don't have to tell you about that, mate. Yeah. But, we all want the next thing. The next thing, the guys down the road doing boot camps. Oh, yeah, well, I'll do boot camps now. Yeah. Or the guy up the road is doing corporate health. Cool, I'll go and do that. And you can spread yourself way too thin. My suggestion and advice would be to pick one thing and go really deep with it.
Yeah. That's very good advice. Yeah,
and really systemize it, and systemize it to the point where you don't have to be the one driving the systems as well. I believe a business in its purest form should be, and this is not my quote. This is Brad Sugar's Action Coach quote. A business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that should work without you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where a lot of personal trainers, fail in business. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. Well, yeah. Well, when is me going to take a holiday?
Yeah. I was just about to ask you that. What do you think is why do you think so many personal trainers today fail in business?
Lack of systems. Number one. And that includes the sales and marketing, inability to sell themselves. It's all well and good. We all know how to do push-ups. We all know, relatively good diet plans for people. But getting people and convincing people and digging down into people's real reason for wanting to change is quite a hard thing. We don't get really taught that much at the RTOs and these sorts of things. So inability to sell themselves. I think also the split shift can really take its toll, especially when you get to my age. You do the early mornings and late nights and live like a vampire, versus everyone else out there who's living, working 9 to 5. That can really take a toll. We've got, don't manage their money, as I mentioned earlier, don't manage their money and don't pay tax. And also, probably the last one, why personal trainers might fail in business is lack of trust in others, in getting other people to do what they do. Thinking, no one can do what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and therefore you find yourself niching yourself into a corner.
Yeah. I believe that knowledge is obviously industry specific. So with that said, are there some key things that you need to stay ahead in the fitness industry that might not be true for other industries?
I think from my point of view, it's things like the HR laws. It's things like the industry pay rates and those sorts of things, which we kind of tend to ignore, but they are very, very important. For all the personal trainers out there that are listening, mate, I personally think that if you want to grow a great personal training business, then learn motivation techniques. Learn motivation techniques, because it's all well and good doing the fitness and nutrition, trainings and courses and everything out there, but also motivation, because that's essentially why people come to us as personal trainers. So staying ahead of not just the fitness, not just the nutrition, but also the motivation, because let's face it, a lot of our clients, and you got to think about the clients here. I'll get onto the business stuff in a sec, but think about the clients here and the service that we provide. Clients, to a certain degree, know what to eat and what not to, don't they?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yep.
To a certain degree. I mean, you're full on about this, but
talking to a fanatic here.
let's talk in general terms. Yeah. Very general terms here. They do sort of know what to eat and what not to. They know what a healthy diet, what an unhealthy diet is. They also know what sort of exercise they should be doing. Do you reckon? Yeah. Yeah, but they just don't do it.
So, yeah, and that's something that you and I have both invested in, and that's NLP.
Big time, yeah. I mean, NLP is a tool. It's not the be-all and end-all. But, success psychology, that's really kind of what it's all about, is that those motivation techniques are, I think, essential. Now, on the business side of things, I think you just can't stop. You can't stop learning about how to make more money, how to leverage your time more. I mean, that's with every business. I personally coach a couple of other businesses, in totally unrelated businesses, and it's the same issues. It's about creating systems to leverage your time. It's about creating getting a streamlined business model to be able to make more money as well.
Yeah. Where did you learn about this first? Like, what books or seminars inspired you to really get the leverage stuff? A lot of people talk about the 4-hour work week today, outsource everything, but obviously you've been doing this a lot longer than the 4-hour work week. So where did you start with the leveraging?
Mate, I'd like to see Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week. I'd love to see that.
I think it takes about 36 hours just to sell the book.
yeah, exactly. I mean? It didn't take 4 hours a week to write the thing. But no, it's a great book. I think, look, I've been self-employed. I've never had a job, so I've always worked for myself. I've had, over the years, 4 different types of business coaches, and they've taught me everything, from being a single owner-operator through to a franchisor. And I've got a guy there for a while who helped coach CEOs. So that's a whole nother level of whole nother skill set, I guess, you've got to employ when you're running a business like that. But a lot of it is learned through trial and error, mate, I hate to say. And I've been doing this for about 17 years, just doing personal training. And at the end of the day, there's a heap of stuff that you might not see in books, or you learning how to read people, learning what a good trainer is and what a not so good trainer is, and it's a creation and trial and error through all those years of the systems and what works and what doesn't.
Right. Cool. All right, I've got a question from the Facebook. I was doing this interview on Facebook, and it's from Christine. What tips could you give when looking for a premise when it comes to setting up a studio?
Oh, how long's this call, mate?
It's got about an hour.
Oh, have we? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. This will take an hour and a half. Just the answer to this question. Well, Christine, if you're listening, look, my opinion, we've opened up 21 personal training studios in 3 states in Australia. We're the first to franchise personal training studios in Australia. We've had them from bloody aircraft hangars of 400 square metres down to 90 square metres. I reckon the optimal size, number one, is 150 squares. That way you can sell a studio membership as well on top of your PT, okay, without crowding issues. If you've got 150 to 200, that's optimal. And really, it's as cheaply as you can get that for in the best location possible. Because as you say, we know with real estate, location is everything. Now, on the location, you can invest in street frontage, or you can go up a back alley. But if you're up the back alley somewhere in a warehouse kind of environment, you'll probably have to spend the same amount of money trying to tell people where you actually are. You might spend another 10, 20 a year to tell people, hey, I'm around the back alley, versus just spending that money on street frontage. So which one's better? Well, that's your decision. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, you can be upstairs or downstairs. You'll always pay less rent upstairs versus being downstairs, but you'll get less exposure.
Yeah,
we've got some studios upstairs and downstairs, and you get a hell of a lot more by having walk-in traffic, which is cool. You don't have to really market to them other than put a board out. We've got some with street frontage that are downstairs in amongst the coffee shops and bars and that sort of thing, which is always good if you can get it for cheap.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I was just going to say, in terms of, because you've set up studios all around Australia, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. What has been your favourite locations to set up these studios? Inner city or suburbs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had some country studios that do well, but we're not the cheapest personal trainers getting around. So we like to put it in areas that have got the money, and we know those sort of areas that where traditionally cancellations and people have got a bit more disposable income, but that really just does depend on person to person. But in suburbs that can afford it, but the most important thing is, I think, is being able to put it in the middle of a community.
Right.
The community where kind of you can walk down the street and everyone knows your name. Those sorts of communities.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're on a busy thoroughfare where you can't walk down the street and wave, go to the coffee shop, and it's a little bit, too much traffic and that sort of thing, it can really work against you. But if you're in amongst the community where everyone knows you and you can, talk to people in the coffee shop, then I think it's an absolute bonus. Right. It's a lot better for marketing and networking. Yeah,
so build the community. It's all about
massively, and be the really the go-to guy or the go-to girl in that community for health and fitness.
Now, have you guys had to niche specifically to one type of demographic? This is often something that's talked a lot about in business, niching to one segment of the market. Is that something that New Level's done, or is it?
Look, not really. Look, our niche is motivation. mate, in terms of your nutrition knowledge against mine, you smash me. And I dare say in exercise, you'd smash me as well, and a lot of the other guys. But what we tend to do really well is the motivation side of things. And like I said before, our niche market is busy, time poor executives that have either been a member of a gym before and know what to do, what not to do, what to exercise, what to eat, but just don't do it. So we say that to people and they go, yeah, I know what to do. I've had a trainer before. I've been a member of a gym before, but I'm just not doing it. I'm a slack ass. Okay, cool. So what do you want us to do? Well, I just want you to motivate me and keep me accountable. All right, well, why aren't you doing that yourself? Because I just can't be bothered.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, which is cool. At least they're honest.
Yep.
Or they just haven't got any time. Because, to support a household these days, you need 2 incomes. And in a better demographic, they're working, people are working longer and longer hours now, so they've got less and less time to be able to do this. So they figure, all right, we'll just outsource to a personal trainer and they'll take care of that aspect of our life for us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really, to answer your question, busy, time poor executives, but we don't take ourselves too seriously either. It's, we're not absolute, fitness and nutrition Nazis, mate. We'll have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the Fitness First Genesis Phoenix business model of personal training? Loaded question.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to bag those businesses because I know the owners and the franchisors of them. I think it's a great business model for them. But, there's a whole heap of personal training clients that just don't go to gyms, full stop, let alone do personal training in those gyms. I think a lot of already motivated people go to gyms. A lot of unmotivated people, the people that we see, don't go to gyms. A lot of our clients have gym memberships, they just don't use it. Something like 75% of people who join gyms are out of there within 6 weeks. So,
well, if all the members used it at once, they'd be in big trouble.
Mate, if all the members rocked up on Monday night, there'd be certainly no treadmills available. For a personal trainer, you've got obviously capped earnings. You can do, you can only trade so much time for money, as you know. So it's a relatively non-leverageable business model. And it does put a cap on earnings. Non-leverageable meaning that I don't know too many personal trainers within those systems that have other people working for them. And it's a bit of a dog-eat-dog, for me, a bit of a dog-eat-dog, kind of an ego fest in some of them, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. So I know we've already touched on this, but just to reiterate, we've already spoken about how important systems are in a personal training business, but maybe if you just explain some of the most important systems that you've implemented that have kind of given you the biggest bang for buck, and some systems that personal trainers on the call that are listening could possibly implement in their business to get things under control.
Well, systems are everything, and you can't. The reason why systems are important, and we've all probably read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I've seen him twice in concert, and it's about McDonaldizing your business, or getting it up to a franchisable level. But you don't have to franchise, obviously. But it's very important. Systems are very important because if you ever wanted to sell your business, you've got to be able to explain and show the potential buyer exactly how you do things. Okay? Now, it's the power of 6 in terms of systems. You've got marketing and sales as number 1, accounting as number 2, or your money systems, HR or people, number 3, OH&S, which is number 4. Operations is number 5, and your own leadership is number 6. Okay?
Yep.
So you've got to wear 6 hats. Again, marketing, sales, accounting, HR, OH&S, operations, and leadership. Now, operations is the thing that most personal trainers concentrate on. Operations includes operations in terms of your nutrition systems, how you train clients, and how maybe you motivate clients. HR, for an example, is how you induct a trainer, how you train or continually train the trainers, the policies and procedures of employment or contractors, the forms that go along with all that. You can pay lawyers a whole lot of money in order to get all that right.
Right.
You've got marketing and sales systems, how clients are attracted into your business. And there's two versions now. There's offline and there's online. Obviously, there's a whole presence to go online, but still offline does work. Offline is still referrals, it's still putting a good business name, it's still networking, it's still public speaking, lead boxes, those sorts of things. And online is obviously video sharing, articles, getting your name out there, and that, as you know, takes a hell of a lot of time, a lot of patience, and it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
And they all basically, fill up your funnel for you to then convert into a paying ongoing client. The OH&S, which is a bit of a yawn kind of system.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's still this is your insurance. What if something goes wrong? What if someone's injured? What are the procedures there? If a Band-Aid is taken out of your first aid kit, what is the procedure? What's the reporting? I know it sounds, unimportant, but having been in business for 17 years and having clients who have been injured, via some of the stuff that we might have done, we haven't been in trouble, by the way, but what are your risk management procedures? That's an important thing. And probably lastly, your accounting systems. That's the big one. How do you do everything? How do you pay your invoices? How do you take your money? How do you report? Are you reporting? Are you paying your tax? Cash flows, budgeting, all that sort of thing.
Yep. And
on top of all that is your own leadership.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about. So how do you systemize that?
Well, have a commitment to it, always learning more and more about yourself and growing your mindset. And I think this is a big shift for a lot of trainers, to be honest, mate. I feel that a lot of trainers are trainers. A lot of trainers are not business owners. So I own some I'm a business owner who happens to own some personal training businesses. That's one of my businesses that I have. I've also got some online businesses and speaking businesses and these sorts of things. So I guess, I position myself as an entrepreneur who has different business interests. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't put myself in a box and say I'm a personal trainer. I gave up that a long time ago.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how many seminars would you do a year on average?
Oh, mate. That's frightening. I've always I'm an avid reader, and I've always gone to seminars, and it's definitely built into my budget, my personal and professional development. And leadership is all about personal development, self-leadership, because as your business grows, you've got to grow as a leader.
Yeah.
You really do. And if the business grows without you growing as a leader, the thing will fall over because of your lack of leadership.
The reason why I guess I wanted to bring that up is because it's a key point that a lot of personal trainers who I meet definitely, I guess, gloss over. And the fact that I think they did a study, they did a study a little while ago that it was basically found that the difference between the high income earners in the industry and the low income earners, and this was across industries, it was four seminars a year. That was the difference. It was the people who were committed to learning compared to the people who, just did it for a bit of fun, or, just to pay the bills. So, I have the same approach, unlimited budget when it comes to education. If I think something's going to give me value, then, I'm there.
The thing is too, like being in a seminar, and now I run seminars, funnily enough, and I think it's important because it's time out. Yeah. And it's time out for you to take that helicopter perspective for a day, half a day, 3 days, or bloody week, for you to really get perspective on where your business is at, where you're at within your business. For you to really do some soul searching to work on it versus just being in it. And, as soon as you come out of that thing, you're back into it. Yeah, for sure. And I've had some of my biggest revelations during seminars, to the point where it's just changed my business model overnight. Mm. Yeah, I think, if you pick up one thing in professional development or personal development, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. So what are your values, I guess, around business?
Honesty, integrity. Integrity means practicing what you preach, and results, which really comes from the integrity side of things. But, honesty is a big one for me. Yeah. And just calling it as it is too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So how does a trainer go from a solo trainer, and this is something that you've done with massive success, they go from a solo trainer to having trainers working for them? Is number one, put your toe in the water. Our business owners have always been fearful of this move. But really put your toe in the water, have a crack at it. And I feel you've probably heard the old thing of fail forward. Do it, and then you might fail at it once or twice, 3 times maybe. But the fourth, if you learn and learn and learn from each situation, maybe from trainers, you learn what not to do each time. So you get better and better and better. And I think the newer you are to business, mind you, you've got to have a little bit of money in the bank to do these sorts of things. But fail forward and have a crack at it. Trust that that they're not there to just rip you off. Trust that other people can do your job. If you think, no, only I can do my job, well then you're going to be stuck for a long, long time. No one can do what I do. That's what helps business owners fail. Yeah, so trust in other people. I like the way you put that. Actually, I haven't heard that. Fail forward. That's a very good way to think about things. Yeah. But fail forward and learn from each fail. Faster you do it, the faster you'll learn. Having trainers work for them. I've made this mistake as well, but trying to be, and this might sound really harsh, but trying to be mates with all your trainers. At the end of the day, they are employees. They're there to do a job. Treat it as a business, not as a hobby. Did you say be mates or not be mates? Don't need to be. Oh, don't need to be mates. Yeah. Well, now, it might sound really harsh, and hopefully everyone gets what I'm saying, but, this is a business, guys. This is a business that can reward you if you do it really well. But if you're going to put a trainer on, here's the thing. Fill up, like I've always said, a busy trainer is a happy trainer. Right? A busy trainer is a happy trainer. So if you bring someone on, you want to be leveraged to the point where you can then do the marketing and sales to the degree where you can fill up that trainer as fast as possible. And have that trainer know in the process, whether it be in the induction or during their tenure at your business, have them know that, don't rip me off policy is built in. Don't go and set up your own business and have all the T's and C's to back you on that one, on their contracts, to make sure they don't rip you off, number one. And two, have them know that they are training your clients of your business, and these are not and will never be their clients.
That's good advice. So I guess what is the biggest issue that you found when it comes to staffing?
Oh, personality. I reckon our job is 80% personality and 20% knowledge, mate. Because you can't teach personality. God, I've tried. And getting some laughs in the background here. I've tried, and I think I've even put headlocks on trainers to make them get better. No, but it just doesn't work. You've either got the personality or you haven't, and you really do need that personality for people to be enthused enough to get out of bed in the morning and meet you at 5:30 in the morning, or stay around till 8:30 at night. Because if you're kind of a dickhead to talk to, you're going to be a dickhead personal trainer, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
there's plenty of them around.
Yeah, there's a few, and hopefully they work their stuff out. But this is a people business. You see these people maybe 2-3 times a week, and we get told a hell of a lot more than hairdressers, don't we?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's got to be that trust, that friendship from client to trainer, but have that professional, I guess, working distance from each other to respect each other. But yeah, that's a big one. Personality, and so I've as you know, I was your lecturer, and in your group and all the other groups, I was lecturing there for I think 3.5 years, and there's a lot of people who were very, very good on the exercise side of things, very, very good on the nutrition, but you wouldn't go and have a coffee with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate like that, hey?
Or a beer.
Yeah. So I guess, how many studios in total, personal training studios, have you been a part of and setting up?
We've done a chain of 21 personal training studios over time.
Yeah. So I guess after all this, you've had quite a bit of business success there. What is driving you right now to get up in the morning and work on your business?
Well, mate, I'm also a part of the Victorian Regional Council for Fitness Australia, where we advise on policy and I guess the state of personal training on a local government, on an industry basis. And we have our monthly meetings. We talk about the state of the personal training industry and the gym industry. And mate, I know, and and all the other trainers out there who are listening know that we are getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and we are becoming more and more and more depressed, and we've got higher and higher and higher sickness rates, and our kids are following suit, and that's not slowing down.
No, if anything, it's getting a lot worse, and people will see it get a lot worse pretty fast.
Yeah, our market is expanding. Pardon the pun. Our market and the people who need us, not want but need us, is rapidly growing. Again, pardon the pun. But what I unfortunately see is a lack of personal trainers who are taking their role in society or their role as a personal trainer really seriously and running good, solid businesses to help these people. So my role here is to help people succeed in a career that they love, number one, that they're passionate about. But two, I want to really see them create businesses that one can survive without them so they can keep going for a longer period of time. have their, personal trainers have their holidays and come back and run good, solid, profitable businesses. That's what it's all about for me. And to help trainers quit from running a hobby business, because that only serves so many people, to be able to running a bigger, more profitable business. That's cool, because the end result is helping more people, and that's one of my values, is to help people succeed. So when I do a lot of professional speaking through travbell.com, and it's not just personal trainers that drives me to get up in the morning and helping personal trainers run good businesses. It's also helping people really see their own potential, whether it be entrepreneurs or just general people, seeing their potential. Yep. That's the real thing that drives me, empowering people to take the blinkers off, as it were, and see their potential. Because as we've had years and years of people coming into our studio saying, "Oh, I can only do one push-up," and then 2 weeks later they're doing, 10. People don't know. Entrepreneurs, business people, don't know their potential, or are scared to look in that direction. My role, I feel, is to help people, empower people to succeed.
Yeah,
and a lot of that's psychology, mate.
Yeah, so you've set up a website. It's called PT Business Systems.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how people can learn more from that website?
Mate, PT Business Systems is unreal. It's all this, I guess, the stuff. To start off generally, is all the stuff that I've just mentioned, is all the systems, the marketing systems, the HR systems, the OH&S systems, operation, leadership and accounting systems. All of our stuff that we've tried and tested, that we've learnt what not to do. Because I'm not franchising anymore. I don't know if you know that, but I'm not franchising anymore, because franchising is interesting. It was fun for a time, but then it's that's a whole other conversation. But what we've done is created manuals and manuals and manuals over the years, and all of our franchising secrets of what to do are all on PT Business Systems to help personal trainers. We've taken the New Level logo off, and now trainers can put their own logo, just download our systems, and then off they go. So we are rapidly putting all of that, taking the logos off and putting all that onto PT Business Systems right now to help trainers really succeed, really create more money and have more time off, and create good, solid businesses that help more and more and more people. Because I feel there's a lack of that in our industry, a lack of really good quality coaching or business coaching specific to personal trainers, because there'll be hardly any help on that site or any content on that site that tells you how to do the latest push-up, or what food to eat versus this food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all for business.
It's all for business, mate, and that's like I said before, that's what I feel is lacking.
Righty.
In terms of helping people, and this is specific, and it's tried and tested, and we've been in business doing this for 17 years. We've done 21 personal training studios. I think I've employed half the trainers in this country, and not half of them, but a hell of a lot of trainers. And it's cool. It's quite cathartic to be able to put all of our systems online and to help even more trainers, in their businesses, rather than just selling the franchises, which is what I've been doing for the last few years. Because franchising, for us, a lot of people haven't been able to get the money out of banks, and it's really, really tightened up. So to spend $150, $200 on a franchise, well, forget franchising. Let's take the logo off. Let's put it online for people to get involved in and be able to implement straight away to create great businesses. And that's what it's all about. So PT Business Systems is, we've got an exciting future because we are dumping all of our stuff on there and then some.
Yeah, for sure. So what does the future hold for Travis Bell?
Well, I'm off to, in about 2 weeks, I'm off to Europe for a month, number one. And number two, we are really going to grow and develop this ptbusinesssystems.com. I've also got a lot of events that I'm personally running, a lot of corporate speaking in the personal development field that I mentioned before through travbell.com. And by the way, people can like us on Facebook and our fan pages for that. And also download, there's free ebooks and stuff like that. And by the way, on PT Business Systems, I was going to say, there's an ebook on how to make money while clients are away. It's very cool. It's a results voucher system. For me, it's running more and more seminars, doing a handful of private coaching clients, not just in personal training, but in business. I call it entrepreneur coaching. I love the personal empowerment stuff. I love the personal development industry. So me personally, that's what really floats my boat above everything else right now.
Yeah. And final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Well, look, mate, I reckon what you're doing is bloody fantastic. And you and I have known each other for a number of years. And, I'll take my hat off to you. You've really created a great business for other people, or set a great example for people to follow. And I think for all the listeners out there that are listening to this podcast, ask Mark as many questions as you can. Ask the people around you who have got the answers as many questions as you can. There's too many egos in our industry. And I think when you have a certain degree of success, that you'll find that the people who have done all right really want to share and give back, to the people that are growing and developing within our industry. So don't sit on the fence with any of these questions. If you've got questions, you can go on to ptbusinesssystems.com. You can ask Mark. You can ask a number of the people out there, and they'll be willing to, really willing to help. So, and with that help, my wish is for all the guys listening is to grow and develop their businesses, to create the lifestyle that they really want, and more importantly, help a whole bunch of people that really, really need our help.
Thanks for the kind words there, Trav. Much appreciated.
That's cool. It's honest.
And thank you. Before we do wrap up, so there's PT Business Systems, which is ptbusinesssystems.com, and there's is it travbell.com for the seminar?
It's travbell.com, yeah.
.au? No, just .com?
No, just .coms, mate. International.
Yeah. So that's where people can go to learn more about you and get in contact with you? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the best place. Cool. No worries.
Yep. You'll see on the PT Business Systems, you'll see two Travs. Be one, my general manager, Travis Beckley. He's the real brains behind PT Business Systems, to be honest, mate. And you'll see some videos on there. You'll see, like I said, some downloadables. And if you become part of the community on that one, you'll get updates. And we've got some great stuff in the pipeworks, which I think you're going to be involved in very shortly too, mate. So look out.
Does look good, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for today, Trav. It was absolutely a pleasure speaking to you. I know the listeners out there have got a lot of great content and a lot of great tips that they can go take away into their business today, as well as that all-important inspiration that, we obviously need. I personally, when I go in my car is a 24/7 seminar. I'm just listening to podcasts all the time on a variety of different issues, whether it's, molecular nutrition, training principles, or, one of my other favourite topics, business. I'm always listening, always learning. So thank you for today, Trav. Been much appreciated, and we wish you all the best in the future.
No worries, buddy.
All right. Speak to you soon.
See you, mate.
This podcast was brought to you by www.maximusmark.com. For more information, visit maximusmark.com. I have heaps of podcasts there. Interviewed Randy Roach, Mark Schaus, Leah Keith, Jonas Wonderplant, Michael McVoy, and today, obviously, Travis Bell. More interviews being updated pretty much every week, if not every month. So make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so you can stay up to date with it all. If you want more information on Travis Bell, either go to www.travbell.com, that's TRAV, bell.com, or www.ptbusinesssystems.com. Thanks for listening, and until next time, train hard, supplement smart, and eat well.